Yo, what's good, boy Ghost here, and today I am bringing you guys quite possibly the final Modern Warfare Warzone comparison. Now I say possibly because there's been reports that Cold War weapons will be in Modern Warfare's Warzone when Cold War comes out, which is on 13th. But there was other reports that that say that the integration of Cold War and Warzone won't happen until December. So I really don't understand what is going to be happening on the 13th. So if the Cold War weapons do end up coming into Warzone and are usable with loadouts and whatnot, I'm probably gonna be still making some Warzone videos. But right now, as far as I know, I don't I'm planning to do multiplayer content and comparisons on that. So what I'm saying. Leave me with some suggestions of videos that you guys want to see with Cold War coming, because I have a lot of plans, but I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear some suggestions. Also, like I mentioned in my last video, I'm going to be streaming on Twitch with Cold War coming out. I have, big plans to stream. I have, intentions of just straight grinding the stream. I'm probably going to be streaming like day 1, day 2 on YouTube. But after that, I'm going to switch over to Twitch. So if you don't know what my Twitch is, it's always goes _. Link in the description. And there's probably going to be a link on the pinned comment. So please go drop me a follow. It would mean a lot. Also, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. We are a few days away from Cold War, and we are very close to 1.2K. That was the goal that I wanted to hit. I know we're very close. Also, there's going to be no audio of the background gameplay because during this day where I got this gameplay, the PlayStation parties were bugged, or just the whole PSN services was like weird that day. And so parties weren't working, so we were in game chat talking. And I mean, I'm not going to sit here and try to do this video while I have me and my teammate, calling out and whatnot in the background. So I apologize for the silence, or there might be background music, I'm not sure, we'll have to see. But yeah, let's get into the comparison. And I know I didn't specify the exact comparison we were going to be making in this video, but basically we're going to be doing the old meta meeting the new meta, so the Grau versus the Amax. And depending on who you ask, the meta revolves around 3 weapons right now: the Ram, the Amax, and the Kilo. Maybe to you don't find the Amax as meta, but I and many others consider this weapon meta. And the Grau, no surprise, no secret that it was one of the best guns during Season 2, Season 4, before it got nerfed. And now it's one of the weapons that has fallen off and is still pretty good, but we'll just have to see how it compares against the Amax. Now, keep in mind, I'm not doing this comparison on the Season 4, Season 2 Grau, because, I don't know, just that doesn't really make sense too, because that's not the current state of the Grau. Now, I'm doing the current day Grau, the Season 6 Grau, in its current state versus the Amax right now. So, a little background information on the Amax. This gun came around Season 4, I believe, in its Battle Pass. I'm pretty sure Season 4. If it was not, it was Season 3. So, I apologize for that. But it's a very hard-hitting AR, and even at the time when it first came out, a lot of people had its doubts and even called it the poor man's version of the AK. I never saw it like that. As a matter of fact, I don't know if some of you guys may recall, but I made a comparison between the Amax and the AK back in the day when it first came out. And I, at the time, called the Amax better than the AK, and I said that it was definitely not the AK's little brother. And here we are now in Season 6. It's considered one of the best guns in the game, and for good reason too, as one of the key aspects of this Amax is its damage. It is definitely one of the hardest hitting ARs in its category, and it definitely, in terms of damage, beat the Grau in its prime. And even today, the only reason why the Grau felt like it was a hard hitting AR is because it didn't move. And even today, it doesn't move, but we'll get into that shortly. I shouldn't get too deep into that. But the Amax, I'm saying, it has it all, aside from the recoil and stability and all that. And one of the things that I have done to try to counteract the recoil of this Amax is just simply learning how to control recoil. That goes a long way to controlling this weapon. Now, I know some people might say, well, why are you using the Commando? Why aren't you using the Merc, the Operator, or even the Ranger? Personally, I just don't like those underbarrels. I know some of you guys might prefer them, and if you have trouble controlling your recoil with the Commando, feel free to go use those other underbarrels. I personally do not need it, and I find it pretty easy to control recoil with the Commando, because to be honest with you, I don't really see a big difference when using those other underbarrels. Again, that's all personal preference. If you would like to use a certain underbarrel, go ahead, feel free to. I just like building my guns a certain way. And another thing about the Amax that the Growl never really had was its mobility. It's actually a pretty like versatile mobile AR, and when it comes in terms of like using it with the sniper, I used to love using the Amax with the sniper. I don't really use it no more, but with the Growl, I never really felt like I could use the sniper with it, simply because the close range engagements with other weapons, or although you know the Growl being a pretty good AR, I just didn't really see it being able to beat some of the SMGs. As opposed to the Amax with its, you know, quickness, I feel comfortable facing SMGs with the Amax. So with that being said, now let's get into the Growl. So here we have the Growl's recoil pattern, and you know, what can I say about the Growl? We already know a lot about it. Nowadays, it's more of a weapon that you use to get away from the meta. Back then, it used to be the weapon that you hated seeing. But for me personally, at this point at the game, I still think the Growl is a pretty good AR, but in terms of it being meta, obviously no. But thankfully, this video is not about discussing it being meta. I'm just here comparing it to the new meta because it used to be meta. As you guys can see here, this is both my class setups, and I'm briefly talking about why I'm showing that second class setup, which you guys may have noticed as a VOK site. I don't know. I, for the most part, was using the Growl without a sight throughout the whole, you know, week that I was using these guns, but you know, I don't know, something felt off about the gun, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna use VOK with the Growl, and I really, I found a lot of success with the VOK site. So maybe if you feel like the Growl with no sight is not your thing, feel free to use the VOK. I personally found success with it, and I definitely, going forward, will probably be using the VOK on it. I don't know, I just feel like it adds a little bit more, not a lot, but a little bit more range to it, and I feel like at this point, the Growl kind of needs whatever it can get. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but I mean, you look at the Growl now, it's definitely, like I said earlier, not on the top tier of ARs. That's mostly because of the damage nerf that it received back in, like, what, the end of the season 4, I believe. You know what I'm saying? Like, the accuracy is still there, but the damage range nerf that it received was the thing that really kind of like killed it, or kind of made it not as popular as before. It's still powerful, but not as much as it was in its prime. Now, I will say, though, going back to the sight, in its prime, I would never use the sight. I would probably put on a grip or a tac laser, as you guys are seeing in the gameplay right now. But, yeah, I don't know. Now, with it, I just kind of want that a little bit more range, a little bit more, or I want that ability to hit more shots at farther ranges, because, again, I feel like you kind of need it. I'm not saying that you have to, but if you would prefer to, I'm saying I would definitely recommend it. But anyways, the Growl, like, let's be honest, even in its prime and even now, it's not going to beat the Amax in terms of damage. Again, the Amax is one of those weapons that really hit, and not a lot of weapons come close to it, not even the Kilo, not the M4, not certain other weapons. But in terms of, like, accuracy and whatnot, the Growl definitely beats it. But honestly, even if the Amax, and I'm pretty sure the Amax did come out, but let's say, like, the Amax meta took over in Season 3, because, you know, let's just say the Amax, boom, came out around that time and was very popular. I feel like the Amax would have taken over if people used it more in a theoretical situation where the Growl was still popping and the Amax came in and people started using it. But again, one of the things I think that would have prevented an Amax uprising would have been just how easy it is to the Growl. I mean, everybody was using it, bro. You know what I'm saying? When I wasn't, like, at that time the Growl became meta, I wouldn't say I was the best Warzone player. I was definitely a lot worse than I was now. And I feel like a lot of you guys can relate to that. And even, you know, sadly, some of you guys still probably consider yourself bad. But, you know, it was a very easy weapon to use. And the Amax is one of those weapons that if you're able to master and able to control it, you're going to be rewarded. But some of the players that aren't capable enough to control this weapon or the Amax, you know, they don't reap the benefits from it. You know what I'm saying? But with the Growl, it's like you didn't really need to be good with it. You just had to aim and shoot. And even now, that still applies to it right now. Yeah, it won't kill as fast as it did before, but you can still do work with it because all you have to do is aim and shoot. With the Amax, it's just not that simple. However, you know what I'm saying, the Growl will be the Growl. Honestly, with the Cold War integration, I feel like this thing will probably beat some of the ARs in Cold War, but it obviously will be taken over by other ARs. And again, like I know I mentioned this in my other comparison, I cannot wait to see how the Cold War integration is going to happen. Again, I do not know what's going to happen this Friday. I don't know if this is going to be my last Modern Warfare comparison. I hope that I hope that it is, just because I don't want to be playing Modern Warfare anymore, or I don't want to be associated with this game anymore. Because I survived it. I did it. I didn't think I was going to be able to survive a year of Modern Warfare, but yeah, here I am a year later. And as a reminder, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Very close to 1.2K. Follow my Twitch channel, because I'm going to be going crazy on Twitch this year. Always goes _. And lastly, this is for you guys. If you guys have any idea, or not any ideas, but, or yeah, I guess, yeah, any ideas or any videos that you would like to see happen in Cold War, let me know, because this is content year. My goal is to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of Cold War. I know it seems like a very big goal, because I'm literally only 10% of the way there. But I'm going to do it. That's my mindset right now, that I'm going to achieve that goal. And I hope you guys join me for that journey. But yeah, I guess we'll see. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. See you in Cold War.